What is up, guys? It's Jacob from QuadHunting, and today I am joined by my friend Justin. He's not really happy about the camera, but so we did a actual just audio podcast last year about the draft, and so we're gonna redo it this year, but instead with a camera, and actually put it on YouTube and not on my Google Drive, and then share it from there because I was a pleb. So I've been holding off Lions draft talk mainly because, number one, I was doing a lot of research. I didn't know a lot about these guys going into the draft process. And number two, I was trying to get into contact with fans of the teams that we drafted. I have that, so I will do those. I'll do a video more about each prospect individually or each draftee. Justin is here because he's a big college football fan.
Indeed.
Probably second only to Colin Vonk.
Yeah. Ooh.
Colin Lamore too. You'll see him later on in another video. Not football related. I asked him about this and he goes, I'd sit here and go, I like football. But we're gonna start off with the first round like they do in the draft. They don't start in the 7th. That'd be weird. Imagine picking the worst players and then moving up to the best.
Yeah,
the 7th round.
Notre Dame players.
You can't say that with Colin standing right there.
Michigan State.
Yeah, Colin Vonk's not here. We can trash him state. But
crappy campus anyway.
But okay, we're starting off with linebacker Jared Davis. The only really bad thing I've seen about this is that people say, why pick Davis when Foster's still on the board?
Right.
But with this pick, I think it's more the Lions trying to be safe, make a good, safe pick. With Colin's taking a Snapchat of us talking. Wow, cool.
Yep.
So it's a safe pick. Foster had the injury issues, and then he had the off-field issues. Combine issues. And Jared Davis, you want to say maybe is the number 2 linebacker in the draft, but he didn't have any of the off-field concerns, injury concerns.
It's not a flashy pick, but it's a safe pick.
Everyone that has been interviewed about this pick says it's a solid pick.
Mm-hmm.
Bob Quinn has come on to say he is going to be the starting middle linebacker, and he will be the one calling the defense.
Oh, so are they wanting to move Tahir Whitehead over?
Out to the outside,
okay.
Yep. Back where he played when...
Makes sense. He's not really good in...
He's not great at anything. He's better with a defensive line in front of him.
Yeah.
And that's the problem. We don't have a defensive line.
Yeah, we'll get to that one.
We'll get to that later. So, yeah, safe pick. I think it was solid.
Addresses a need.
Linebacker. And it's one of the better players available still at that position. You could have gotten some of the DNs, maybe D tackles that were there, but I don't think there was anyone that was really gonna.
Because on the roster, we have Whitehead, Williams.
Linebacker is very shallow going into the draft.
We don't have Bynes anymore, do we?
I think we still do.
We still do have Bynes. So, and then there's Did we re-sign Bostic? He didn't play at all last year. Well, he went on IR.
I can't remember if we did or not. I don't believe so.
There's another guy, but I can't think of his name.
We were very, very, very shallow at Thurston
Armburster.
Armburster. Great name.
Yeah.
But just as a need, he was one of the best players left in the draft. I mean, you could have gone DN, D tackle.
Could have gone Jabril, but
I'm glad we didn't go Jabril.
Yeah, I am too. We've already got that hybrid in Miles Killebrew.
Yes, we already got Miles Killebrew. I think he's going to play that same role that Peppers is going to play in the NFL. But
Peppers is going to have a failed career in Cleveland. Poor guy.
Poor Peppers. Anyways, grade on the pick.
Yep.
What do you think? What are you giving the grade? What are you giving the grade? What are you giving the grade? I agree. I'm going to have professors start writing that on all of my tests. Yeah. I agree.
Yup.
B plus.
I'm going about a B plus as well. Not a flashy pick, but flashy picks don't always work out in the NFL.
It's not a Matt Millen type. Get the best, most impactful player.
That never worked.
Never. Wow.
And it's not the Matt, and it's not the Martin Mayhew. Just get player regardless of position.
Yep. Because then we have a depleted offensive line.
I think Bob Quinn right now has a lot of goodwill with Lions fans, and they're more willing to take these safer, maybe less impactful players in the short term.
Trust the process.
Are we going Sam Hankey here?
76ers.
So we both gave it a B plus. Moving on, we can't come to a consensus on how to pronounce this, but I call him Tez.
I believe it's Tease, but
The corner out of Florida. I am liking him. I like this pick. I mean, a lot of Lions fans are worried because he had the slow time at the combine and then the slow time at the pro day, and then trying out for the Lions, injured himself. If you look at his tape, he plays a lot faster than his 40 time would suggest, and that's what you would. I don't like how people freak out about 40 times because NFL players don't play in shorts and tank tops with actual running shoes on like that. They're playing with 20 pounds of pads. They're playing in jerseys. They're playing in football pants and cleats. It's a totally different game than a track athlete is pretty much what they dress up as at the combine is what they're doing. They don't. A lot of times the measurables don't come out in the game.
Yep.
Calvin Johnson was ran a 4.36, something ridiculous.
yeah, right around there.
And you never really saw. You saw he was faster than a lot of people.
Oh yeah.
But you never saw.
He used his size and his height to his advantage.
Yeah, he
and
didn't
that's
just.
what
yeah.
it was.
Yeah,
and just his.
And that's why you see people who come in with these crazy 40 times not really do all that great because in the NFL,
Well,
that 0.2 of a second isn't that big of a
it
deal.
worked for Chris Johnson for a couple of years.
Yeah.
But what's he doing now?
Exactly. Your speed will only get you so far in the NFL, whereas size and everything else, and natural playmaking ability, which is what a lot of people say Tabor, I'm going to go with that as his last name pronunciation, has. He's a playmaker. He's gotten a lot of interceptions while in his career at Florida. It's what the Lions need. We're kind of playmaker depleted.
Yep.
You're starting to see teams not go after Darius Slay
Big play
because
Slay.
he's starting to actually.
We need a nice sidekick to him.
Yep,
on the opposite side.
they're cutting Glover Quinn out of their game plans because he's a proven playmaker, and they're targeting the
Tavon Wilson.
Tavon. Well, he's held his own. He's held his own pretty well. They're targeting the. I'm thinking of the other cornerbacks right now. They're slipping my mind. Nevin Lawson and Diggs. They're targeting them, and they're ending up giving up these huge numbers, and that's why the Lions went after cornerbacks so hard. They signed DJ Hayden. They got, and then they drafted two corners in this. Chris Johnson is with the Cardinals.
Wow, he's still in the league.
Thank you, Colin.
Oh, wait,
Our reporter Colin here getting our information.
I mean, he's behind
David
David
Johnson.
right?
So yeah,
Which
when you're behind
was
David
the
Johnson, yeah, you're
second best running back in the league, maybe first.
Who's first?
Ooh, this is a whole nother conversation. It's him and
We could do a whole video on that.
Tim Tebow.
yeah.
There's a running joke we have at Grand Valley about Tim Tebow in our sports program, so I'm not gonna go too long into that
I
because
wouldn't put Elliott number one.
Elliott's a good choice, but
He is a good choice, but David Johnson and we are getting off topic.
yeah, okay, let's stick to the draft. We'll do
Yep.
the best of every position video later.
All right.
I think
That's gonna be a lot
that's
of
a-
research
That's
because I'm not gonna just say Brandon.
that's how I do it.
That's
That's how my whole YouTube channel goes.
It's true.
But any other thoughts on the pick?
No. Just Quinn addressing depth, especially the
We need a lot of
cornerback
depth at corner.
with,
If you're gonna have a good defense, you need to either have a really strong defensive line, and then you can be a little weaker everywhere else, or
Right.
you need to have strong secondary and strong linebackers to make up for a weak defensive line. And there's not a lot of picks I'm seeing that
the hope.
could have been made here.
The hope is, I mean, this is what I think is the hope is DJ Hayden can start.
And can
But
produce better than what he did.
He'll get a lot of competition from these guys that we drafted.
The
You know,
less
it's
we
just-
have Jonathan Batamosi on the field, or Johnson Batamosi, my bad, on the field as a corner, the better. I mean, he did have a couple good plays, but you need more than a couple good plays
You need
throughout a whole
consistency.
season. Yeah, and definitely better than some of the guys. Asa Jackson Jackson we had on the field for a little bit was a nightmare.
Practice squad guys.
Yeah, it was back like during the 2012 season. But
I missed
instead
that
of
season though, that was some
that was a
offense.
bad season.
Some great offense.
It was a terrible
Oh,
season.
2011.
2011 was a great season.
Next
It was
thing I
when Stafford had 42 touchdowns or something and over 5,000 yards. Calvin Johnson broke the record the next year in 2012.
Oh, the single game.
No, the single season.
Was it also
2012.
the single game against the Cowboys?
I think it might have been.
329? Okay.
I think it might have been. But
Okay, so
got off topic again.
yeah.
Okay, grade for the pick. For Tabor, the corner from in the second round.
B minus B. B minus.
Same. I'm leaning more towards B. I'm a little more happy about the pick. It addresses, I think, another need. Again, it goes away from the Millen Mayhew picks, where you just grab the best player.
What's his height? Do you know?
He comes in, I think he comes 6 flat or high 5.
Okay.
I can't recall off the top of my head, and it doesn't have it listed here where we're getting our. But I think coming in, he's going to compete for that other job, and if he struggles right away, Lions fans need to remember Darius Slay started the same way. He got benched for who did he get? We signed him as a Mathis.
Rasheen.
He got benched for Rasheen Mathis, and then ended up getting back into it.
Rasheen Mathis is a good guy to learn from.
Yeah, great guy to learn from. I don't know if the Lions have that guy in the secondary right now besides Glover Quinn.
Right.
He's the most tenured.
Well, and you hope Darius Slay is matured
stepped
and
up into that role.
Took a leadership role because he knows he's best back there. But.
Yeah, he's arguably top 10 corner. Not even arguably, I think at this point. Don't die. I think he's probably one of the best cornerbacks in the NFL right now. He's worth the money we paid him. Are you okay?
Yeah.
Slow down when you're drinking your Mountain Dew.
No kidding.
Yeah, really professional. Colin says. So we both agree about a B on him. You said B minus, I say B. Not much of a difference, a couple percentages. But moving to the third round, this is a pick that a lot of Lions fans, every time a receiver gets drafted, Lions fans are doom and gloom.
Mike Williams, Charles Rogers,
Roy Williams.
Hey, he been out for a while.
For a little bit. Ryan Broyles, Titus Young.
What could have been with Ryan Broyles, though?
Okay, Calvin Johnson's a totally different subject. He was not bad.
Could have played more.
Could have played longer. Of course, he's got to be a little mad that the Lions are a little good now.
We have no wide receivers right now on fighting for starting spots that were drafted.
No.
Because T.J. Jones wasn't drafted, was he?
He was drafted, but he's not.
But he's more of a
he's going
special
to
teams
probably
guy.
get cut more than likely with the depth they have now.
Marvin Jones, Golden Tate, possibly Bolden.
It doesn't sound like
doesn't.
Bolden's coming back. He wants to play closer to home, and it sounded more like the
It's
Carolina
gonna be
Panthers.
It's going to be last year, most likely. So.
Mm-hmm. But talking about wide receivers, third round, Kenny. I keep wanting to say Galloway because that's what it sounds. That's what it looks like it's going to start off as. Galladay. Dude's huge. 6'4", 211. He's got definitely the red zone size that they're looking for. That's probably what was missing the most last year. We didn't have that red zone threat that Calvin Johnson was. Not saying he's a Calvin Johnson type at all, but he's that red zone threat that we need. The guy that you can just put it up there. He's going to jump up and get it. They had got another guy like that later on, the next pick, or a couple picks later anyways. But that's what Golden Tate's not going to out-jump anyone. Golden Tate works best in open field. Marvin Jones is a speedster that's trying to take the top off of defense.
Yep.
They were missing that piece, and that's where Bolden stepped in for the most part last year as the guy who's a red zone threat, but he's not really a big red zone threat like you'd think.
But he ended up with the most receiving touchdowns. So.
But that's what they were really missing when they lost Calvin.
Mm-hmm.
They brought in Marvin Jones to replace the speed of Calvin. You weren't going to replace Calvin with one guy. You were going to have to replace him with multiple people and have people step up.
Jones was...
He started off great, slowed down a little bit.
Yeah.
I think that was... But you saw when Jones slowed down, Tate picked it up.
Yep.
And so teams were heading to pick who they were going to try to shut down. And that's when the Lions offense...
the whole year, so we only had Tate.
That's when the Lions offense was able to pick up, and Stafford was wise enough to... Still able to get it out to as many people as he wanted.
Yeah.
But that's when he was wise enough to pick up on, the defense is shutting them down. Well, we have these three guys that can pick it up.
Yep.
And hopefully that's where Galladay steps in. He's not going to be a big name, I don't think. I think he's just going to be solid and reliable and will do what he needs to do in terms of receiving. And he's not going to get a lot of catches right off the bat because he's got to step into his role. But he's going to, maybe a couple years from now, be a good number 2. I never think he'll be a number 1.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's just going to be a piece of the rotational puzzle the Lions like to use at wide receiver these days.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty much my thoughts on him.
Yeah.
Wide receiver again was a need. We needed it.
Yep.
Besides our top two, we really had
It's one
nothing.
one of the few things on offense that we needed.
Yeah,
Speed.
tight end and wide receiver we needed.
Yep.
Surprisingly,
Well,
that's what we
apparently
needed.
we needed a running back, but
I didn't really see that as
buy
big
into
of a
that.
need.
No, I like
Glad we didn't
Dua,
draft him.
Reddick, and
Zenner,
Zenner back there.
Washington maybe every once in a while.
He didn't
Great
impress
on-
me, but
Great on Galladay.
Galladay, the fact that we needed a third wide receiver makes me want to give it a B. I'm not sold on him.
I didn't recognize his name when the Lions called it. I had to do more research
Right.
into him.
Right, and they mentioned that he didn't do a whole lot at Northern Illinois in terms of running different routes and stuff.
But what I saw at Northern Illinois too was not a lot of great quarterback play for him the last couple of years.
No,
But he still was putting up big numbers.
that is the problem that can be at lower tier schools like that.
But I'm thinking more. But when you have quarterback like Matthew Stafford,
Right.
he's not top tier, but
No, but
he knows how to make players around him better, as
Oh,
we
yeah.
saw last year.
Yeah.
People talking about Calvin leaving. Stafford was going to be messed
Next-
up and not going
next
to be
man
good, but he was able to find roles for other people and make them
Right.
better and
spread out the offense more.
spread out
They
the
didn't
offense
have
more.
to-
Yeah.
Yeah, otherwise I'd go with probably more of a C plus to a B minus.
And the C plus is not a bad grade.
No,
C's get degrees.
no, and it's he has potential.
He has
Guy's
potential.
6'4".
He is 6'4".
He is he's a pretty good athlete. So and that's what you have to
You
be in the
hope the
league.
skills, like we talked about earlier, match up with,
Yeah.
like we said with Chris Johnson, there's the speed.
Mm-hmm.
You hope that his height's not everything.
No, but it does help in the red zone.
It does. We're going to move
So-
on because otherwise we're going to keep talking and talking and talking.
Right.
This is one of my favorite picks in the draft. Both fourth-round picks I absolutely loved. Because I can see them
linebacker.
being guys that are going to contribute either not right away, but then during the season, or in the next couple of years, they'll be big-time contributors for the Lions. And that is Jalen Reeves-Maben in the fourth round. It was our first fourth-round pick. I see him, as a lot of people see him, as the replacement to DeAndre Levy in the long term. He plays more of that style. Everything I've read about him suggests that he was one of the better linebackers in the SEC. Had he not gotten injured last year,
Yeah.
they said he would have gone a lot higher. I think that's perfect for the Lions. It's, you've seen players get injured, fall in the draft, and then still end up producing a good NFL career. I think that's what he can do. Talking to some Tennessee fans, they said his nickname his sophomore year was Reeves Mayhem because he was wrecking havoc apparently on special teams. He's going to come in as a special teams player right off the bat. He's going to be a project build, kind of like a Tahir Whitehead was, but hopefully the ceiling's a lot higher than Whitehead's.
Yep.
We've seen what Whitehead can do when he has to be relied upon.
He's not the number one option.
No, you
But-
don't want Whitehead as your number one
So
option.
He's going to be the number one option this year.
Again,
We're hoping Maben or Davis
yes.
quickly transition to that role.
Yep. But so far I like him. He's a development player, of course, but that's what you get when you draft in the last day of the draft,
Yep.
4 through 7. You're not going to get usually guys who are going to come in right away and just blow the NFL up.
Tom Brady's don't come out of nowhere.
And Tom Brady
Screwed
didn't do it his first year either.
No,
Tom
he
Brady, he was. A lot of people want to think that. They mention Tom Brady was a 6th round pick, but they also don't mention he didn't start a game until like his 3rd season.
Right.
And that's so he had time to sit behind. Aaron Rodgers was drafted last half.
Drew Bledsoe.
I was talking about Aaron Rodgers.
Oh,
drafted
same
later, sat,
Favre.
and sometimes sitting for players can do wonders for them. Kind of what you think maybe the Bears were trying to do, but they got 2 quarterbacks that a lot of people don't know about. We'll save that for later.
Do they have quarterbacks?
Yeah, same. Actually, the same thing. On the Maben pick or Reeves Maben, I'm going with a solid B plus. It sounds everything I've heard is he's extremely talented. Injury made his stock drop,
Mm-hmm.
but everything else, he's a great guy. He's really smart. He knows what he's doing, and he's not really going to be out of position like we saw with a lot of linebackers last year. He's got the speed to cover the ground. I'm going a solid B plus, maybe even A minus on him.
I'd have to agree.
Especially if he can slide into that role. I don't like grading drafts right off the bat, but right now as I'm grading it is he fills a need.
Mm-hmm.
We need it. Special teams player, eventual maybe starter, and that's all you can hope for out of these things.
Yep.
But my entire favorite pick of the draft, the tight end out of Toledo, Michael Roberts.
We are hitting the MAC teams hard.
We did this year's draft. Yeah, I think it was 3 or 4 players.
Pat O'Connor.
Yeah, Pat O'Connor was the last. Yeah, so 3
Easter.
players from the MAC, and then we signed undrafted free agent Storm Davis.
Out of word.
Can't remember. I remember when I was asking MAC teams about him.
Guys.
Nothing really spectacular, but they come out of nowhere in the training camp. The dude's got 11.5-inch hands. His hands are bigger than a football.
That's impressive.
So if he has problems with drops, he has a big problem.
Better not be an Ebron pro.
But he comes in at 6'6".
Another red zone.
Another red zone threat.
He's not much of a.
I've heard he's kind of.
How quick is he?
I haven't seen what his speed is, but I heard that he is he's the prototypical tight end. You want a guy that can block, catch, run routes.
He's not one that's going to make breakout plays.
No, but he's going to be, depending on red zone.
Right.
That can be a breakout. Because he had last year, I don't remember the exact stat. I know he had 16 touchdowns last year.
Mm-hmm.
He only had like 500 yards. So you wonder if that's more of a Fourier type player. He's good between the 20s, or he's good 20 in the red zones.
Yeah.
But he's not good
between the 20s. Out with block. Because if we can do a 2 tight end set.
A 2 tight end set is more like what we're looking. We also did sign Darren Fells.
That's right.
Who's pretty much just a blocker, a blocking tight end, which is what we needed last year. We were missing that desperately. Ebron doesn't block. He's a receiver that lines up as tight end. That's pretty much what we need to.
Bottom of the barrel tight ends last year.
After Ebron, especially, like once you saw Ebron leave, like it was a mess.
Mm-hmm.
But this is my favorite pick of the draft. I'm going with an A. Definitely, we needed another tight end that could be a weapon. More weapons we give Stafford, the better.
Yeah, I like it. 4th round, addressing a need.
And you don't really lose much on him. You lose a 4th round pick, which a lot of times don't pan out too far in the NFL. And I mean, he's got the size, so right off the bat, he's going to be a mismatch for people. Mm-hmm. I think he'll get playing time. He might be a healthy scratch in the first couple weeks of the season, but if, God forbid, Ebron goes down, we know we have a guy along with Darren Fells that we can rely upon more than last year when we had just
we picked up his option.
Yeah, I know.
To pay him all that money.
But drafting this guy made a lot of people wonder, are the Lions going to pick up the option? They eventually did.
Yeah.
It's a smart move.
They didn't do it on the last day, though.
Nope.
They kind of...
They waited it out a little bit, but it's a smart move. If you lose Ebron right now, our tight end situation is even drafting this guy and signing Darren Fells is not the best. He's shown improvement every year. So...
Yeah, A minus. Well.
Then another corner. That's what we neted in round 5. He's from, San Diego State.
Is it San Diego?
Oh, no.
Just San Diego?
It's just San Diego. That's where I had problems trying to find out about this guy. So I type in his name, and there's a couple other people that have a similar name and pop up. And then I type in San Diego, and then it wants to direct me to the San Diego State, and it wants to direct me to the San Diego Chargers, which are no more.
Yep.
And it didn't want to direct me to this. But he's small, he's fast, most likely a slot corner.
Another depth guy.
Hopefully we'll be able to challenge the Diggs and Nevin Lawson and the DJ Haydens of our team and produce, because that's what we need. It's corners a weak spot, but build depth. You hope that from top to bottom it's not as bad as it was last year. We had a good top but terrible bottom.
Yeah.
This year it's looking more like the bottom's a lot better than it was last year.
Right. And this guy could in the future become kick returner, punt returner. He's got a lot of speed.
Yeah, he's that's what they already said. He's got competition already in the punt and kick returning. Who did that last year for the Lions?
Michael
Andre Roberts, and he's not there anymore.
Right.
So he automatically comes in probably as one of the favorites for punt and kick returns, which is good.
Don't put Abdullah back there. Please.
Don't. The less Abdullah in situations we don't need him in, the better.
I like the guy, but
I'm going B minus. I mean, there's not much about him. It's another small school thing. But if he can come in,
another corner we had Alex Carter. But I don't.
We've had Alex Carter for years, and it's been
They got him 2013, 6th round.
I think it was 14. I can't remember. It was one of those bad drafts.
One of the last Mayhew ones.
Yep.
But yeah.
I think it's just another solid signing. Like Bob Quinn didn't draft any of the quote unquote sexy players, the bigger names. He could have had Peppers if he wanted them.
Could have drafted up and gotten Trubisky.
Exactly.
Thank God he didn't.
Thank you, Bears. Thank you, Bears, for taking the basement of the NFC North again.
Hey, cool.
They're gonna be there for a while.
Yeah, another pick. Don't know much about. I'm trying to find much stuff about him, but I can't find it. Is Jeremiah Ledbetter? D tackle needed. It's a little worrisome that the Lions waited until the 6th round to address such a need.
Do you think they'll be moving Kerry Hyder over to the end?
It sounds like going into the season, Kerry Hyder and Ziggy Ansah are your starting ends.
If he has a good sophomore year, but Ziggy.
This season will be really telling for Ziggy if he goes back to the 14.5 sacks he had last year or 2 years ago.
What year is he going into?
I think he was 13 because he played with Sue. I think a year.
So
2 years.
This is his.
I think it's his 4th season.
So then they'll decide whether they're going to pick up that 5th year option.
Mm-hmm. And extended his contract.
Yeah.
But depth. That's pretty much all I can say about him. I don't know much about him. Apparently, he's a decent pass rusher.
We don't have a whole lot of depth in the
at D tackle. No, we don't. Or D line at all. We don't. That's why a lot of people were upset that they waited till the 6th round to draft a defensive lineman. But I'm more wait and see on this guy. I don't know much about him. Hopefully, he's more than just a training camp body and gets cut at the end of training camp. But if somebody comes along during training camp and plays better, I have no problems with letting this guy go.
Kerry Hyder last year.
Exactly. Kerry Hyder pushed a couple guys out of their spot who Lions fans thought were guaranteed.
Yep.
But you never know with these late round picks.
May.
Yep, it is only May.
Some of these guys will come in 20 pounds heavier.
But this site says it's a developmental raw defensive tackle prospect with elite athleticism, future rotational pass rusher. I mean, off that, you want to give it like an A, getting in the 6th round. But again, I don't know much about him.
B.
I'm going to go B/incomplete. Because on the other guys, I was able to do research. This guy, I haven't been able to find too much out about.
And we come back 3 months later and see a little bit more on this guy, see how he's done in training.
Exactly. It'll be more telling then.
3.5 months. But
be a lot more telling then.
Right.
It's May. They haven't even practiced with the team yet. Rookie mini camp hasn't even started. But moving on to another 6th round pick. I've tried to do research on him too. Luckily, Miami fans were a lot more giving me a lot more.
He's had a pretty good career though.
I've looked at the experts and analysts say about him, and the only thing I've learned about him is his mom was the Bye Felicia girl on Friday.
Yep.
All.
Yep. Facebook let me know that one too.
Yeah, that was the first thing I saw on ESPN. His mom.
A lot of people said he should have and could have stayed another year. Had another year under Mark Wright down there.
But he joins Al Golden now in the Lions, his former coach.
That's true.
A lot of if you looked at last year's, ESPN does those way too early mock drafts.
Mm-hmm.
Last year, they did one and it had him going 2nd overall.
Really?
Yeah, I saw that the other day because I clicked on the way too far out one just to see, and it's in ESPN Insider, so I immediately clicked out of it.
Oh, of course. No one pays for that.
No one pays for that.
It's trash.
Don't make Insider happen. Don't try.
It's
Stop trying.
I don't think anyone's trying besides ESPN.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. ESPN needs to stop trying because it's not going to happen.
No.
Then I went to the comments to try to find out, see if anyone in the comments posted who's got picked by who, and someone posted, just in case you forgot about last year's, and he put that up there, and it was San Francisco 49ers picking 2nd, and it had Brad Kaya.
Myles Garrett going number 1 overall.
Can't remember. No, he went 3rd, I think, in that one.
Oh.
But
So, I mean, they were pretty close there.
Pretty close on that one, but they were only 5 rounds off on.
Trubisky going up there, the guy who was a backup at the time.
Who started 13 college games. That's great. Let's not. Let's keep moving. Okay, but this is just more depth at quarterback, which is what we needed. Orlowski competition for Rudock pushing. They're going to push each other, and competition makes each other better. Hopefully, is what you hope for.
Mm-hmm.
It's an upgrade after losing Orlowski.
As much as not going to be here forever.
Yeah, it's that. Well, not just Stafford's not going to be here forever.
Well, but for
you look at how the
purposes.
Patriots, Brian Hoyer, Ryan Mallett, Jimmy Garoppolo's now in the teams are trying to trade for him. It gives you value if you have a backup quarterback that teams want, and that's what the Lions are starting to do now that they have their starting quarterback. They take these quarterbacks late, try to build them up and get more out of them because 6th-round pick, say you trade them for a 3rd-round pick, you move 3 picks, you've gotten 3 rounds better value out of them long term.
And I don't know about you, I'm feeling better about if Stafford were to get injured.
I'm still not comfortable with Stafford getting injured.
Obviously not. But having either of these 2 guys come in instead of Orlovsky.
Orlovsky is going to be a great coach one day. No doubt about that. He's smart.
Yeah.
He
I
knows
don't hate
things.
the guy. I cringed every time he had to come on the field.
He was the best when he was standing on the sideline with the clipboard,
Mm-hmm.
talking to the quarterbacks about this is what you can do. This is what you should do. But when you put him in the game situations, I don't.
He runs out of the end zone one time.
And everyone.
It's not just that.
If you actually look at his numbers, he wasn't bad in his career.
No.
And then he made a solid career out of 0-16. Not a lot of players lasted long after 0-16 in the NFL.
Jason Hansen was still around for a while.
Please don't ever retire Matt Prater. But I got to go B on this pick. I mean, it definitely fills a need. It gives competition to Jake Rudock. Maybe B+.
Maybe even A-.
Maybe.
I mean, what else are you going to get in the 6th round?
Exactly. You could get Nate Freese, but...
Of course, we could have gone more D-end or linebacker.
But there might not have been anyone high on the boards at that point.
And it's just... You're just wasting draft picks then.
Yeah. So, don't draft somebody you can pick up as an undrafted free agent.
Right.
Draft someone that can eventually fill a need. And backup quarterback is a need as much as Rudock is there.
He's not a sure thing.
He's not a sure thing. The Lions liked him enough to bring him off the practice squad last year when the Bears tried to sign him.
Yep.
So, who knows? We'll see. Hopefully, we don't have to see much of either guy if they win the backup quarterback job.
Yep.
Hopefully, we don't ever see them on the field. Hopefully, we just see them holding clipboards.
Stafford's been
Iron Man
since
3rd season. Yeah,
2011, 2010.
That was his 3rd season. 2011 was his first full season. 9, he was injured, and 10, he played like 3 games the whole season.
And then after that, he
hasn't missed a game.
Not one?
Not one.
Yeah, you're probably
We benched him a couple times.
That's true.
I remember distinctly one in... Sean Hill came in against the Tennessee Titans.
2013.
Almost won it in overtime. Dominic Raiola messed up the snap.
Oh, gosh, yes.
That name.
All right,
okay,
next.
But I'm B+.
Okay, Raiola was great, though.
Raiola, yeah, looking back, I kind of miss him. Last pick, Pat O'Connor. A couple picks away from being Mr. Irrelevant.
No. We know who takes that one. Chad Kelly.
But, depth. Can't body at this point. Local guy.
Yeah,
pretty much all I know.
Yeah.
When you get these later rounds, people are like...
Apparently led the MAC in sacks, though.
That's always nice. When you lead a lower conference in anything.
Yeah. And the MAC is respectable. It's
not from Western, though.
Not like the Sun Belt. that conference trash.
I just see can't body.
B-, C+.
Yeah, that's really it. That's all I can go. Overall, I think we like the draft a lot better than experts and analysts do. But you have to see.
Some thought it was the best. Everyone's
when you look at
mixed emotions.
There was some people have rated it the 30th draft in the NFL. There's only 32 teams that drafted, so 30th out of 32. But when you read his reasoning, It's basically because they didn't. He says draft was solid, but then gave it the 30th ranking, which means they didn't grab a name that was going to shock anyone. I mean, how many people are rushing out to get a Davis jersey right now?
Or any of them.
Exactly. They did not boost jersey sales with this draft.
No.
But that shouldn't be your first goal when drafting to build a football team or to keep a football team rolling.
Drafting to your team needs.
You do
You're
that.
building
You draft names. You end up like the Browns. You end up like the Cowboys there for a little bit
Well, the
when
Browns
they were.
just have infinite picks every year, and they.
Next year they have even more.
I know, it's insane, and they might. They gotta.
Okay,
better front office.
Remember when it's the Lions?
It's the Browns. The Browns have taken over as this century's.
This
Worst.
decade. We'll go this decade. I won't go this century. Well, I guess since it is no, because Lions were the worst team in the
Okay.
early 2000s.
Right, and the Raiders and the Browns were very close behind.
Yep. But after that, I think it's more of the. It was definitely the Lions, but the Browns took that crown.
Yes.
2010, 11-ish,
And they continue it.
and they continue to hold it. The Bears, though, might give them a run for their money. 49ers, I don't think are going to be too bad much longer.
No, it seems like John Lynch has had a.
Martin Mayhew's over there, too.
Is he really?
Yep. He is John Lynch's number 2 guy,
Assistant to the manager.
pretty much.
He's not assistant. He's assistant to.
Yeah, he's not the assistant man. He's not the assistant general manager. He is the assistant to the general manager. But yeah, we like the draft for the most part.
Yep.
Not the sexy draft,
B to B plus.
but not all the names don't always fit.
No.
Sometimes these lower.
It is. I don't know about you, but it is nice to not have to see an offensive lineman because we
have
that
a really
need.
that's like almost one of our strongest positions on paper right now. It is probably the strongest position.
Decker, Glasgow, Swanson, Lang, and Wagner.
Your weak spot's Swanson.
Yeah.
No. Glasgow. That's what I meant. Swanson was playing Pro Bowl level last year before he got hurt.
But Glasgow, I mean, pretty impressive.
And I mean, even
And he had to switch over.
And who knows if Laken Tomlinson decides to. I mean,
We still
coming
have
off the
Lucas too,
bench,
right?
Coming off the bench, I have no problem with Laken Tomlinson coming off the bench.
No.
Injuries, if an injury happens, I have no problem with him stepping up. We
Yeah.
know he's mediocre, but mediocre is better
was
than bad.
Mayhew's last first round pick, right?
Yep.
Which that was another safe pick. I mean, it was a smart guy out of Duke.
Yep.
Who
Came
hasn't
out
gotten
as
any trouble yet.
He hasn't gotten any trouble. He's
lived up to his potential. We don't believe.
It's only his 3rd season too. You
Right.
can't judge. I mean, look at Swanson last year. Everyone hated him this time of year. I was calling for him to get cut.
Yeah.
And then he ends up playing Pro Bowl level. That's why I'm not a general manager or a coach
Or a scout.
or a scout, because I would fail at that job.
We're just here as
Fans.
armchair quarterbacks.
Yep, kitchen table chair quarterbacks.
Right. But
But yes, so that's our thoughts on the draft. 38 minute long video. I said 15. I'll cut things, but probably maybe not.
it's been a little while on.
It's been a long
beginning
time
round.
since we've talked about football. So,
Yeah.
yeah, if you like videos, like, share, subscribe, all that fun stuff, and we will see you guys probably later on this summer when we have to do our predictions
10-6.
with the schedule we have. With the schedule we have, that's hopeful for me. We'll get into that later. That's a teaser for the next episode. But
Yeah, I know. I've seen everything between 5-11 and 11-5.
I saw 116.
Yeah, I did see that too. That's just a joke.
So I've
No
seen
way.
16 and 0. But I will see you. We will see. Well, I'll see you guys sooner than he'll see you guys. See ya.